Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I am Illuminati, and this is the Crypto and Cognac podcast show, as always, live every Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp Atlantic Standard Time. And of course, my co host, Hennessy Cognac. Guys, it is my pleasure to be with you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. This evening, we are talking about the question that has been going around the space recently. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Right? I'm sure everybody who's been paying any attention have heard of the HBO documentary. Don't worry, no spoilers here tonight. But since they did it, we're going to go down a little bit of the rabbit hole, and we're going to touch on a few of the people that have come up over the years as there being speculations that they are in fact the one, the only Satoshi. Right? But before we jump into that, we had to do some housekeeping. As always, Stevie will not allow me to do this show without it. I am not a financial advisor. This is not a financial advisory podcast. Nothing that you hear here tonight should be misconstrued as financial advice, right? It's all about the ICE rule. The same way we have our yak is the same way we have our crypto conversations. And that is the ICE rule. Information, conversation, education. I share with you, you share with me in the comments. And on the other side of it, hopefully we have a little bit of a better awareness about this space, a little bit better understanding of what is going on, of ourselves in this space, and we can then use that as a springboard to go and get more information, because as we always say, do your own research. No matter what Illuminati tells you, no matter what your brother-in-law tells you, no matter what your sister tells you, no matter what your favorite crypto, TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram influencer tells you, do your own research. So, cheers, guys. Welcome. And like I said, this conversation all popped up because we've been hearing about Money Electric, which is HBO's documentary. Now, me personally, I find that's a horrible title. Money Electric, the Bitcoin story. Bro, I can't even, it's not even electric, it's electronic. I mean, it just don't make, even the name is whack. But you know what? I talk about crypto on the internet, right? So who am I to tell them, these executive producers and all these people, about what makes for good television? No. This docu-series has again started raising questions in the space, and I guess globally, about who is Satoshi Nakamoto, what is his identity. I don't know why it's so important to find this man. Just appreciate the amazing work that the man has done. He, she, they, let those people live, bro. But it has been happening for years and years and years and years, right? We all have heard about 𝐂𝐻𝐍. He's often considered the most plausible candidate due to his direct involvement with Bitcoin in the early days. He was one of the first persons to receive a Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi himself. His cryptographic background and his proximity to the early days of the project makes him a particularly strong contender, but it hasn't been determined without a shadow of a doubt, right? Then there was a guy, Nick Szabo. So he's a computer scientist and he's known for his work on smart contracts and digital currency. Szabo earlier works with digital currency concepts called BitGold. That led to many people believing that he could be Satoshi. Obviously, bro came out, he said, yo, tain't me. He denied it straight up. But linguistic analysis of Satoshi's writing often suggests that, Szabo could be Satoshi, or at least has influenced Satoshi. Everybody be checking everything and everywhere. We all have heard about Dorian Nakamoto, right? And I guess because of his name, and because he's a Jamaican American engineer, there was a journalist by the name of Leah Margaret Goodman. She basically point this man out and say, yo, you Satoshi dog. And well, Dorian was like, bro, what are you talking about? So he has vehemently denied being Satoshi. And, that theory of him being Satoshi was very easily disproven. I don't think there are many people in this space today who even consider that as an option. Now, the next guy we're going to talk about, he is actually one of the most controversial figures to be assumed to be Satoshi, and he himself has gone so far as to claim to be the founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. And I'm talking about none other than the guy who shares a name of mine and actually a name of my best friend, one of my best friends in the world, Mr. Craig Stephen Wright, right? He's an Australian cryptographer, and he has been claiming since 2016 that he is Satoshi, right? But every time he's given the opportunity to prove that he is Satoshi, bro falls flat on his face, right? And we all know the easiest way to prove that you are Satoshi. We all know that there are certain wallets that can be, I guess, linked almost directly to Satoshi or someone who has been participant on the Bitcoin blockchain from the early days of Satoshi. And they have been sitting dormant for years and years and years. And all anyone had to do to prove that they are Satoshi was to transfer any amount of tokens from one of those wallets to a wallet of their choosing and say, hey, I just did this from there to here. I'm Satoshi. And even Mr. Wright has not been able to do that, right? He has attempted to prove his identity on many occasions, and every single time, bro has fallen, like I said, flat on his face. He has come up short in terms of presenting that strong evidence, and it's led to a lot of legal woes on his part, right? He's been sued by the estate of his former business partner, Mr. Dave Kleiman, I think, who said that, they had jointly minted over 1 million Bitcoin back in the days, and Craig basically took off with all the Bitcoin after Mr. Kleiman's death. So obviously his estate, I mean, if that was my estate, if I was a member of that estate, bro, I would have won my share of 1 million Bitcoin as well. Obviously, he's run into some trouble for perjury in terms of lying on the stands about his rule and his relationship to Bitcoin and its origins. And he, like I said, he hasn't been able to prove that he's Satoshi. So if you can't prove that you're Satoshi, you said on the stands that you are Satoshi, then perjury. And then he's even gone so far as to try to sue people who have kind of ridiculed him in terms of his, I want to say, belief that he is Satoshi. No, I'm not knocking and saying the brother may not have been wrong very early in this space, right? But in terms of being Satoshi himself, I would think that it's an easy way to prove that you are him, and he has not been able to do it. Now, this HBO documentary has popped up a couple more names. They have way more resources than me, and they have done some digging, and they believe that they have figured out who Satoshi is. I don't believe it for 1 second, because I think every single major government in this world would have, figured that out already if it was possible, and probably have that man in a basement somewhere trying to find out how to break this amazing monetary, decentralized monetary policy instrument that we have in Bitcoin. The market's responding. Maybe it's to that, maybe it's to all the global conflict, maybe it's just a correction, selling and buying, always go. But go check it out, right? Let me give them a little ratings, at least they'll make bad money for all this nonsense not nonsense that they'll talk. But personally, my belief, like my buddy George says, we are all Satoshi. And that's the truth. And you can help your friends, your family, be Satoshi too, right? By bringing them, sharing the good word according to Satoshi, the gospel according to Satoshi, right? Because, as I say every single week, and almost in every single crypto conversation I have, adoption is inevitable, right? So that is it for me this evening, guys. We're having a super short one. Why? Because I need a vacation, and I'm on vacation. So don't mind my business, right? So I will be checking in with you guys next week. Only 2 episodes left for season 5. I'm excited to come to the end of this one, mainly because I'm excited for the start of season 6. But we keep that on the wraps for now. Guys, thank you for spending another evening with me. It has been a pleasure. As always, be blessed. Illuminati out.